Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
So first off, I kind of mentioned this very briefly yesterday, but never really, talked too much about it. Yesterday just started off on the wrong foot right from the get-go. And what do I mean by that? So yesterday, I was setting up for the marathon. And as I was setting up over there for the marathon, I say over there because that's where my PC desk is with my monitor, the actual, streaming and capturing PC and all the office equipment and stuff like that is over there. So, I'm setting it up and everything, and I'm getting everything ready to go. And what happens is when I finish the setup, I turn my monitor. So instead of facing that way towards the chair, I turn it so it faces this setup over here where I'm actually, streaming from. And as I turn the monitor on this stand, it's on a stand that lifts the monitor up, I'd argue around 6 to 7 inches off of the surface of my desk. I turn the monitor and I let go, and the monitor falls completely off of the stand, and it falls so hard that it knocks my speaker off. It actually pulls the wires that are also the modem. So the whole modem falls off and comes crashing down to the floor. The monitor itself hits the corner of my PC, creating a giant scratch through the monitor, a big curved scratch. And the whole PC gets all its wires pulled. So the webcam's USB port popped out, and it hit the restart button on the front of the PC, restarting the PC as well. And I'm like, what in the holy hell just happened? I mean, what a bad way to start a day when I'm about to be streaming all day, and I'm looking like scared. I'm like, did I just damage my whole setup? You know what I mean? Like, did I damage my computer? Did I damage the monitor? Well, I did. I damaged the monitor. The monitor now has this giant scratch on it that it doesn't look like it's going to be repaired. What I did is I used some glass cleaner and electronic cleaning cloth, and I sprayed it and, basically buffed the whole monitor. And there were spots where there were damage that I did get it off, but now there is a huge curving scratch, okay, in the monitor. And I was like, oh my God, great. There's not much I can do about it. I'm not going to buy a whole new monitor just because there's a scratch on it. It's distracting. Like, as I'm sitting here, I'm staring at it. It keeps catching my eye. I think eventually what will happen is I'll get used to it. But, I mean, you want to talk about that's how the freaking, how the day started. And I'm like, oh my God, right? Like, I guess a taste of things to come, okay? So the premise of Viewer's Choice is that this is an event where the viewers of my content, not me, but the viewers of my content, nominate and then vote for games that I'm going to play during a marathon setting. The purpose of the Viewer's Choice Marathon is simple. Let's play a variety of games in a short period of time so that basically we can get a good idea of games that maybe I either haven't played or maybe I haven't played in a long time, and we can get a taste for them and see what they are. Are these games that basically just don't fit my content style? Or are these games that maybe are interesting and I just haven't had a chance to play them yet? And now, having tested them in this marathon setting, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't, okay? So typically, when I do one of these marathons, there's a few good games, there's a few big duds, there's usually a couple troll nominations, trolls trying to get games in there that they know are not going to work. Well, this time around, okay, because we were kind of rushing to set this whole thing up, I didn't really have time to say screen or how can I say, how can I explain this properly? Normally when we do a Viewer's Choice Marathon, there's like a month buildup, right? So there's like 2 weeks where people nominate. Then we narrow that down. We look at the games that were most nominated. We can figure out what works, what doesn't, what's this game, what's that game. Then usually there's a poll or a series of polls, and we talk about it. There's hype buildup, right? In this case, because we were trying to fast forward into this marathon. Remember, we hadn't even discussed or determined that this 50-goal marathon event would actually be viewers' choice until like a week ago, right? Not even maybe. It was like last minute. We were trying to rush through, okay? So because of that, I just really didn't have enough time to fully flesh out games that I think would have worked in this event. I basically tried to just believe that people who nominated games had my best interests at heart. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. In some cases, I do believe that was the case. And in other cases, I feel like games were directly nominated and voted for because the parties who did that knew those would not work either for my content creation style or for the marathon. Okay. There's a couple cases here that we can cover. So let's talk about the marathon itself. First game was Counter-Strike 2. And the funny part was, I actually think that my trolls thought this game was not going to work. But I think it was actually the opposite because they didn't realize I had actually played Counter-Strike 1 back in the day. They thought that I'm so used to the run and gun gameplay of Call of Duty that if I played a game that was very tactical, very much, if you get shot once, you're pretty much dead kind of a game, that I was going to rage and I was going to freak out. And it wasn't the case at all. In fact, I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to remember how these games were back in the day. Games like original Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six, that's how they were. They were just very, very tactical, where you had to play very carefully. You had to set stuff up. You had to wait and sit and be very patient. And then the moment that they come around the corner, you blast them, right? That's what it was. So, as soon as I muted the one moron who was trying to do dumb voice chat and I got the, stupid insulting comments off the screen, we were able to play it for about an hour. And honestly, I enjoyed it. Like, I actually enjoyed myself because I haven't played a game like that in so long that it was actually refreshing. Now, did I do well? No. I did get some kills, but a game like that, you need to be practicing actively. You need to know what the weapons are, how they're used. Remember, that game, you buy loadouts each round. That game takes a lot of time investment and practice to get into. But for what it was, I was blown away. I'm like, so it's 2025 and they're still playing Counter-Strike 1 because essentially Counter-Strike 2 is just Counter-Strike 1 with some mods. They changed it over the years. The map isn't exactly the same. The gameplay isn't exactly the same, but it's very similar. Like, wow, it's fascinating. And people were like, yeah, there's still giant esports leagues for this game that are, profitable, $1 million tournaments. I'm like, holy crap. Well, if anything, that just shows that games from back in the day, a lot of the times could stand the test of time. Universally well-regarded games that everyone said, oh man, competitively, this is great, right? So Counter-Strike 2, in my opinion, it worked because you got to see me play a different kind of FPS and actually just kind of apply myself to it and try to learn it fast, which is difficult, but I did okay. And like I said to everyone, I would be willing to play it again, but a lot of people were like, don't think that's going to work because it's just kind of boring to watch. If I were a top player who had been playing this game for years and I knew all the strategies and everything, and seeing me being able to play well and to call out what I'm doing versus I have no clue what's going on. Let me try to learn on the fly and everyone else knows what they're doing and is just, going crazy. It's a little different, right? So I actually enjoyed Counter-Strike 2, but it seems like the audience did not. All right. I would definitely be willing to play it again, but obviously I'd want to know if it would actually work and if people would enjoy it or not. Because right now I'm just kind of not sure, kind of on the fence about that, if people would actually care about it or not. I don't know. Obviously, feedback appreciated in regards to that. Okay. Okay. Hold on one second. Someone tipped the book and says it sucks your monitor got scratched. Can you show us the damage? I could, but who cares? Who cares? Not a big deal. Thanks for the $1 tip. Okay. Anyway, so then we moved on to the second game. Now, the second game was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. All right. And for me, I was intrigued at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This is a game that came out in, what was it, February? At the time it came out, there really was nothing else going on in gaming. There's like no other games coming out that week. So it got a lot of hype and a lot of attention at the time of release because basically there was kind of nothing else happening or going down at that point. The game then apparently got incredibly popular and everyone liked it and played it. And people were kind of yelling at me at the time, Phil, why aren't you playing it? And I was like, Well, I saw my wife play Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 for a while. She didn't like it. I didn't like watching her play. It didn't seem like a very good game to me. And, that's my take. That's my opinion. And it's my prerogative to have that opinion. I don't have to like every single game that everyone likes, just like I don't have to dislike every single game everyone dislikes. We've seen that recently with games like South of Midnight, where I played it for 2.5 hours and I loved it. And the entire audience told me, no, the game is woke crap. Don't ever play it again. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to that. I didn't see that. I was liking it, but I'm not going to keep playing something you're complaining about and don't want to see. Okay? So, in this case, I was like, since people are nominating it and they want to see it, allow me to check it out and see if it's actually good or not. Viewer's choice is a good opportunity to do that. Playing for an hour or more, you get a good taste of what a game is supposed to be, right? And then you can say, is it good or not? Maybe I was misjudging it. Recently, a couple months ago, I did a Five Nights at Freddy's marathon. And during that marathon, actually giving Five Nights at Freddy's a fair shake and enough time, I actually liked it. I wasn't in love with it, and I certainly think that it's overhyped by a lot of people, but I appreciated it for what it was. So I was kind of approaching Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in that same regard, that, hey, let's together check this out. Let's see if it's any good, right? So, again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about it extra long or whatever. I played it for over 2 hours. On a marathon like this, I really should have only given it an hour, but I kept playing it, and here's why. Arguably, 75% of the time that we were playing it, it was just cutscenes, or cutscenes with a dialogue choice that really didn't matter. There was actual dialogue that's timed. It's like, well, say something. You don't have to say anything. You could just be quiet and nothing changes in the story or anything. So it's kind of the illusion of choice where it makes you feel like something's important, but it's not. But man, what actual gameplay did I do in the 2+ hours that I did of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? We did the combat tutorial, which not only did I learn, but then I won the first fight, which was challenging because it was the first fight. I don't know much, but I won it. There was a dice gambling game that we did. Okay. And outside of that, there was 2 sneaking segments that lasted less than a couple of minutes each. And then that was it. It was all cutscenes. And then at the end of the 2 hours, just get this, okay? You are naked. You are hurt, injured. And the first mission the game sends you off to do after sitting 2 hours through introduction is go harvest some chamomile herbs in the forest. Okay? Now, I tried my best to give this game a fair shake, okay? If anything, what I can factually assess about the game is that the first 2 hours just aren't very good. I'm not saying that means that the entirety of the game is bad. In fact, I would argue I don't know how so many people could actually like the game if overall the game actually is bad. All right. I think it just has a really bad intro. Like, it's so slow moving. It's snail's pace. The blabbing and blah, 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 blah. They're just blabbermouthing everything in the intro. When you're playing a game and you want to get into it, you want to experience what that game is all about right from the get-go. And then if they want to do story elaboration or whatever, then you do that. In this game, 2 hours, and I had no idea what this was, what it was. At the end of the 2 hours, I still had no clue what this game is because I'd barely played anything. I just sat there watching cutscenes, okay? So the truth is, maybe it's good, but I, as you guys know, I'm a very honest guy, and I react and respond in a way that's very honest and matter of fact. And so 2 hours in, I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm bored to tears. I can't believe how bad this is. Like, this is one of the worst intros I've ever experienced in a game. I don't know why. It's snail's pace. It's so boring. I can barely pay attention. I'm so just not interested. I have no clue why you didn't actually, like, play the game for more than, like, 5 minutes in the first 2 hours. It's very confusing, okay? So, basically, when I said that, right, the entire stream freaked out, claiming that I was dumping on the game, that I was saying that it was an awful game. I just don't get it. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Because that's actually not what happened. And all I can surmise is that the reason that this game was actually mass nominated and voted on for the marathon is because, again, much like with other games that the trolls tend to nominate, like Lost Records or something, they knew that this game would not work for the marathon. Okay? They knew that. They knew that this game had an incredibly elongated intro with insane amounts of cutscenes and that I was never going to get to anything interesting. So that's why they wanted it so badly in the marathon. Because much like a game like Lost Records, it's incredibly boring narrative-based game, or, they want it to not work. They want to derail my stream. They want to make sure that people get upset or bored or whatever it is so that the stream's a failure, right? I can't imagine if you liked that game, right? Why would you nominate it for my marathon when right in the criteria for nomination, it says, do not nominate games that have incredibly long intros, because I need to get a taste of the game in the first hour that I'm playing it to know if this is a game that I want to play in the future. So if you knew that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 had an incredibly slow moving intro that barely explains anything about the game, but it's just a lot of blah, 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 why would you have nominated it for this? I don't know. Take a look at what happened with Stellar Blade back during the Christmas event. All year people said, play Stellar Blade. And I said, I know I'm not going to like it. I know I'm not going to like it. I know I'm not going to like it. But then they demanded it. And I said, all right, we'll play it during Christmas. I played it for an hour. Guess what? I didn't like it. And it's like, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. But you're forcing me to do it anyway. Okay, well, guess what? Now you see what I told you all year. I don't know what else to say. In the case of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, maybe if I actually said, I will do it as a full playthrough. Let's get through the intro segment. Let's understand the game mechanics. Let's get to the main game. Maybe I would have actually liked it, right? But that's not the case. The case is, it was a marathon. I was only supposed to play it for an hour. I actually doubled the amount of time that I played it to try to give it a fair shake, and it still didn't get to the real game. So obviously there's a disconnect here, all right? And everyone, of course, always wants to blame me for everything. It's always your fault. Of course it is. It's my fault that basically I made a viewer's choice event and I believed that I could have open nominations, open polling, and have enough legit stuff that the event would be successful. Previous events, it worked. It did. Previous events, even though we had troll nominations and things that wouldn't work, we still had more than enough that the event worked. The reason that this one blew up the way that it did was because so many people like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and people, of course, took the opportunity to take my honest observations about the intro to the game to make it act like I don't like it. Well, I didn't say that. I said I don't like the intro. We didn't even get to the game yet. How can I even say if I would like the game if I haven't even played it, right? And I also said, I don't know why people nominated this for the marathon. It's like you guys are kind of conspiring against me in this case because you knew an elongated intro wouldn't have worked, right? So I don't know. I mean, you tell me, what it is, because I don't know. I really don't know the answer to this. I don't know what happened. All right. What I do know is that everyone on the internet, as usual, tried to use it as a viral moment. Oh, look, old man crashes out playing a game he doesn't like, even though it's not even the case. I'm crashing out because this is a marathon where I'm supposed to be getting a taste of each game. And in the criteria for the marathon, it said no games with long narrative intros. And then people nominated and voted for a game with an insanely long narrative intro. I gave twice as much time as I should have and still didn't get through it. So why did you do that to me? I don't get it. Okay. So I just don't understand. I mean, you tell me. If you're a fan of the game, I get it. Maybe you wanted to see Phil play it. All right. But how is this my fault? Do I really have to massively research every single game that ever gets nominated moving forward for any event to make sure that it fully fits the criteria of the event? I don't know. Exactly how much research and work do I have to put into stuff before we could just have fun on a stream? I'll be honest with you. If it becomes such an academic endeavor, it takes the fun out of it. You know what I mean? If I have to fully research every game and that's a spoiler to me to know that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has a 2.5-hour intro and it's all narrative-based, that's kind of a spoiler. So, I wouldn't be looking about that. You know what I'm saying? So, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. And again, when like Eugene says, so it's not about it being your fault. It's about you not listening to us. About what? What are you talking about? What didn't I listen? I did listen. I listened to you. I played the game you wanted. It didn't work for the marathon. You see what I'm saying? Everyone has an issue with me basically not loving this game during the marathon. But when you actually get down to it and you're like, so what's the big deal? What actually is the issue? No one actually has a legit answer. Oh, well, it's because you did. Well, what? What did I do wrong? I was honest. It didn't fit the criteria for the marathon. It wasn't an entertaining first 2 hours. So what's wrong with that? Right? you know? Davian says, to an extent, you should have not bothered with it from the time of the polling. It was never going to work, marathon or otherwise. You weren't interested, and neither were the core fans. It's not about liking the game. It's about insulting real fans and viewers on the Daily Rap last night. The Daily Rap last night, here's what I said, and I'll repeat what I said. All right? If you love Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and you're someone that's in love with it so much that you can't accept the fact that someone else might not like the intro, that's incredibly, like, I don't know, what's the word? Immature, entitled, selfish. Like, someone can't disagree with you. And listen, I used to be like that too, right? Absolutely. When I was younger and I was a younger YouTuber and I was very close-minded, I'd be like, well, I like this game and I don't like this game, right? And based on that, I would make judgments on games and then say, if you don't agree with me, well, then you're stupid, right? I don't do that anymore. I don't make judgments. Listen, like I said in the Daily Rap last night, there's a lot of people who actually did like Assassin's Creed Shadows. I didn't, but they were coming on my streams and saying stuff like, hey, I like it. I think it's fun. I don't know what you mean. And I'm like, well, what can I say? Right? I don't know what to tell you. You can like it if you like it. I don't. And I outline my reasons why. And then we move on, right? You agree to disagree. It just seems like in regards to this game, people just can't agree to disagree. Instead, it's either you agree with us, it's great, or you're wrong. And so I'm saying on my marathon yesterday, I don't like this game. 2 hours, there's nothing going on. I'm not very excited or interested in it. And I've got people like actively attacking me in the chat, saying awful things about me and about the marathon's a failure. You're a failure. You don't know what you're doing. You're just a bad gamer, this and that. What is that about? And again, what it leads me to believe is that this was purposefully nominated. All right. Purposefully nominated because you knew it wouldn't work. That's what I feel. And maybe I'm wrong. All right. But I really feel that's what happened. This is a game that you knew the intro was slow, but you nominated it anyway because you want to see DSP be bored and crash and burn during his marathon. I didn't nominate the game. I didn't vote for the game. I told you I wasn't interested in the game. You still brought it into the marathon anyway. So then when you get the expected outcome, why do you freak out and yell at me? Right? Seriously, I don't get it. It just, why freak out at me? I just, So there you go. Dapan says, I don't get it. Apparently your core fans are angry with you. I don't even think that they are, for saying that they're idiots for nominating things, but clearly you're not aiming it at them. What is going on? I don't know, because I didn't aim it at them. I'm clearly saying there was a concerted effort of people who don't like me. Okay. They wanted to see the marathon fail. They knew that Kingdom Come was a beloved game, but also had an insanely long intro that doesn't fit the criteria of the marathon. And they purposefully nominated and voted for it to make the marathon crash and burn. And they succeeded, right? The marathon came to a screeching halt when I played the game for 2 hours. We were all bored. It was just nothing to enjoy there, right? If I had known that there was a 2.5 hour intro, I never would have played it during the marathon, but I don't spoil myself on these games because then what's the point? It's not a legit reaction if I know what's coming, right? And, in my opinion, very much so, this game could be good, but this is one of those games similar to, say, Baldur's Gate 3, right? where you have to really invest yourself time-wise and universe-wise. You want to get yourself immersed, right, in the universe. You want to pretend like you're actually living there in jolly old England or wherever, and you're almost like role-playing, cosplaying, doing everything to be like that character. And you need to invest a lot of time in it, because if you don't stay immersed in it, you kind of lose that level of enjoyment and immersion, right? That's what I think. This is a game that you'll play it for like 2-3 weeks straight, and every day you're playing it, so you get through that intro and you immerse yourself in the mechanics and everything, and you really get into it. And I get it, but those kind of games don't work for me. Like Baldur's Gate 3, listen, I'm glad I played it because now I understand that actual style of game. But man, it really killed the channel for 3 months. Like viewership dipped. Everyone was complaining, why am I playing so much of it? You know what I'm saying? So if that's the kind of game that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 actually is, then it ain't for me anyway. Even if, whether I like it or not, it ain't going to work for my kind of content, right? So, I don't know. Like, and all I can say is, I don't even know what else to say, what you want from me. People are saying they want an apology. So what would you like an apology for? Because I didn't like the game, or because I said there's a group of very ill-intended people out there who all they want to do is insult me and ruin my content. And if that's the case, fuck them, which is what I said in the Daily Wrap last night. I said, if you nominated that game fully knowing that it wasn't going to fit the marathon, well, fuck you. If you're someone who actually can't accept the fact that I don't like a game that you like, and you're going to sit in my chat and insult me and then make hurtful comments and hurtful videos and hurtful things about me because I didn't like it, fuck you. Because I have the right to actually not like something that you like, and vice versa. So I don't get it. I don't understand. And maybe I'm just a different person than you, and I'm in a different place than you. But like, listen, it didn't work. It's not a big deal. We can move on from it. I'm not going to play it again because I know I'm not going to like it. That's it. Like, I don't even know what else to say. I just, what else is there to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm lost. I'm confused. All right. So anyway, yeah, we're moving on from it. So it didn't work. All right. I didn't like it. I was freaking out by the end because literally 2 hours and still this old woman is just blabbing, blah, 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 blah. Nothing's happening. I'm like, did they really put this much dialogue in the game? Like, what the fuck? When is there a game? I'm still waiting. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. So anyway, just like with Stellar Blade, I guess I got to take the L for doing something that everyone asked me to do, right? Everyone wanted me to play Stellar Blade. I told you it's not going to work. I played it. It didn't work, but I'm to blame. And now with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I told you I wasn't interested in it. Didn't think it was going to work. Everyone wants it, nominates it, votes for it. Play it during the marathon. Oh, what a surprise. It didn't work. But now I'm to blame. Okay, I guess. I don't know what else to say. I'll move on then and say I'll take the L for I guess being trusting and gullible, and you know what I'm saying? So all right. So moving on after that, we got to American Trucking Simulator, which I played for about 45, 50 minutes roughly. And that was fun. And here's why it was fun. Okay. I was starting to have some drinks finally. I was having a White Claw. I was joking about drinking and driving. I was running into things. I was, having a good time with the audience. We were talking about the trucking industry, but also just being silly. It actually was a fun, chill game. Like, that really was after the nonsense of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just being so boring. That was the polar opposite, where it was kind of silly fun, right? There was no commitment to do anything. It was just testing the game. I feel like that game could work for like chill nights, but I don't know at the same time. It worked for like a really short test, but would it actually hold up for a 2+ hour stream? That I don't know. People have told me that, yeah, actually there are streamers who play that game and have successful like late night hangout sessions with their audience because they could just drive and talk to them and be interactive. And, maybe that's good. I don't know. I guess I'll think about it. Personally, I enjoyed it. I did. And I mean, we only did the demo, If it was something that we played another time and it worked for a stream, maybe I would buy the whole game and we'd see what else is in the whole game, whether it's, more locations or whatever. I don't know. But I don't know what you guys think. Would that be something you would like to see as an ongoing stream in the future? I don't know. All right. Okay. And then lastly, the final game last night was Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. And to no one's surprise, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is a great game. And I loved it. And those who stuck around to watch it liked it. But because it was the thing that happened at the end of the marathon and I hadn't pre-announced that we were going to be doing it, I think basically the marathon kind of, was at the end and kind of ran out of hype and viewership. Maybe if I'd started that at the beginning, it would have got more attention. But I actually really liked it. I played it for about 90 minutes. And it was fun and interesting. Okay. Now, when I was playing Paper Mario, I kid you not, people were sitting in the chat whining and complaining that I like Paper Mario, but I didn't like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So do you see my point? Like here's the point, right? I'm able to like what I like and dislike what I dislike. And if you disagree with it, that's okay. But why are you angry? Right? Like, I can disagree with you on something and be like, okay, you like Fortnite. Personally, I don't like Fortnite. That's okay. Why would you stay and be angry that I didn't like the game that you like, but now I like a game that you don't like? Like, people were complaining this game's boring. This game is like watching paint dry. It's so boring. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Now, in addition to that, people are making another comparison too. They're actually saying, well, I don't get it. You didn't like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because you said it has a long, boring narrative intro. But what about the Yakuza series that you play? The Yakuza series has insanely long cutscenes, right? And you don't complain about that. Yes, I do. When people say stuff like that, you can outright tell that they're ignorant and they don't actually watch my content. They just watch detractor versions of my content. I literally, every time that I'm playing a Like a Dragon or Yakuza game and there's an insanely long cutscene, I call it out. I even added an animation to my streams for when the cutscenes are too long and I'm calling it out and saying, when's the gameplay? I literally have an animation I added for Like a Dragon. So your narrative doesn't hold up. You're right. The game has insanely long cutscenes and I don't like them there either. But in that case, that's a series that I've been playing for over a decade, that I have tons of history with, that I have a dedicated viewer base and supporter base for. So when I play Like a Dragon, people are like, oh, it's awesome. Even though there's going to be these long narrative-based parts, we're still here for it, right? With Kingdom Come, I'm just playing it for the first time. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, oh, this is an incredibly fun 2 hours of blah, 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 blah. I'm not. I'm going to be honest, when we had Like a Dragon, which one was it? Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth? The entire intro was story, and I told you then that I thought it was bad too. You know what I'm saying? I did. I thought that intro was bad. They should have jumped you into gameplay earlier. It didn't represent the game well. They messed up the intro, and I called it out in that game too. So your narrative never holds up if you actually analyze things factually. But that's the problem with these people who create these narratives. They don't look at things factually. They literally lie and take things out of context or out of the true perspective of fact to make their narrative truthful. So they'll say, Phil loves Yakuza and then show a long cutscene. Phil hates Kingdom Come and then show a long cutscene. But it's not the same. I call it out. I say as much. So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Again, I don't know. But anyway, the fact that people stuck around literally just to complain about Paper Mario was remarkable. Like, so you're stuck around, even though you knew I didn't like the game you like, just to say because I like the game that it's wrong. Like, huh? Anyway, so what did we learn during the marathon? Number one, I'll tell you this. We're not doing anything viewer's choice style for a long time. All right, we've already done 2 this year. The first one was very successful. This last one, not so much. We're not going to do that again. We have a lot of ideas we've already planned out, saved up, that are going to work. Outright, no lie. During the actual marathon, everyone in chat was like, you should have just done the closet festival. It would have been much more fun to see it putting on the hats and the vests and things for the last time while you were drinking and having a good time and hanging out with us. That would have been way more entertaining than what you're doing here. And I was like, yeah, I agree with you, but you guys voted for viewers' choice. Another thing, the viewers actually voted for viewers' choice. We had a poll and viewers' choice won. So that's what we ended up doing, So, we have other ideas of things to do. And I'm excited for the future. I know that we're going to have good marathons moving forward this year, whether it's, Indies marathons, the Closet Festival, the return of Mega Man to finish up Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, Rageathons, who knows? There's a lot of different ideas that we've had that I think could all work. But here's the deal. I control what gets played during the marathons at the end of the day, because that way we know that it'll work. We know that it'll fit the criteria. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be, oh, everyone go ahead and just nominate things that won't fit the format of what Phil's doing. We're not going to do that anymore. Okay? And for the record, this is exactly why I can't do fan lobbies, viewer lobbies. This is exactly why I can't do these interactive events. Why can't I play Jackbox Party Pack and stuff like that? Because whenever you give an opportunity to these trolls to do something messed up, they take advantage of it. And then they jump on the opportunity and they mess with everything. And that's exactly what they've done here, is let's ruin viewers' choice for Phil. All right, let's ruin fan lobbies for Phil. Let's ruin this, because they're just no-life losers, is what they like to do. All right? So we're just not going to be focusing on this stuff moving forward. Instead, I'm going to be doing my own thing, and we'll talk about it together. We'll figure it out on podcasts and the like. But then I'm going to plan it out, and we'll know that what I'm doing during the events will work. Not that something that, completely won't work and won't fit criteria and that everyone's upset with me. All right? So I would consider playing American Trucking Simulator again as a chill stream. And, Paper Mario I bought. So I would be down to do a playthrough of that at some point. I don't know if it's going to be immediately, but I think that would work as a playthrough, a chill playthrough in the future at some point. We need to talk about it. In fact, there's a lot of comments on the video saying, yeah, please play this later. We like this. So we'll see. Okay. But that's what came out of it. And essentially, I am not going to waste time with viewers' choice probably again this year. I don't think it would make sense. I think we should focus on things that we know will work. Okay? Fair enough. I received a tip here. What did I just click? I didn't mean to click that. I received a $15 tip from an anonymous tipper. Why not save a marathon for a weekend when everyone has time to watch all day? Well, here's the deal. I wanted to do it on the weekend, but we couldn't make it happen. We just couldn't. With this new goal-based system, there was no way to make that happen this last weekend. Now, let's say that we had waited till this weekend. Well, that's all well and good. But then what would have happened is, let's say we hit the goal, what was it, Tuesday? So we hit the 50 goals Tuesday, right? Now, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday come along. Well, obviously, I want to have nice streams that are supported and productive, but we already have a thing I owe you, and I'm not giving it to you. I'm withholding the reward till the weekend. Why? So more people can attend. So what happens? Phil's withholding the reward because he's greedy and he's selfish, and he just wants to do it when there's more people so he can make more money. You see? People want instant gratification. They want, when you hit the goal milestone, they want the reward. They don't want to wait another half a week for it. Okay? So what ended up happening is, likely, let's say that we hit the goal and I don't do it till the weekend. But now we still have another 3 days of streaming to go. There are people, I'm not going to support Phil. He didn't give us the reward. And since we didn't get the reward, I'm not going to support his future stuff until we get the reward we're already owed. Why would I support now and earn other goals when he didn't pay us for the goals that we've earned? You understand? That's my take. You know what I mean? Now, maybe you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Excuse me. But that's what I think would happen. Okay? So, yeah. And I get you. I do think that marathons traditionally work better on weekends. It's great when we can actually schedule them for weekends. It just didn't work out this time, right? Like I said, really, this marathon was messed up too because we didn't even know what the games were going to be till the last minute. People were voting up till the last minute to determine the games for the event, and that sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really does. That's true too. Dapan says, keep in mind, there's the case of people who do try to save up and they want to support during a marathon event. So maybe they would have just saved up all week and not contributed to my other streams, and I would have had a whole slow week before the marathon. You're right. That also. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. You're absolutely right. So, yeah, that's the double-edged sword of having rewards based on milestones. Is it's good because you can have an off stream or two where we don't hit a goal, but eventually we will hit the goals and we're going to get that reward in time no matter what. Correct? So there you go. Excuse me. But sadly, I do think that there's a double-edged sword here where, because we're doing milestones, people expect that instant gratification and they'll be upset if they don't get it, right? Anyway, so that's what happened yesterday. All right, let's talk in the future about the possibility of having both Truck Simulator and Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door as future playthroughs. All right, I think that they will work, but I don't know exactly when I want to do them. Okay, I don't think I want to do them right now. At all. I think that we have enough in the rotation going on that we don't need to be doing those right now, but I do think that we could bring them up in the future and they could be very good, actually, as playthroughs. So maybe the next time we're looking for a chill game, we already have an idea. Maybe the next time that we're looking for, an RPG, we got an idea, right? There you go.
I got the drip go. I got the drip go. I got the drip go. I got the drip go. I got the drip go. I got the drip go. I got the drip go. It's like a faucet that's dripping. Can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.